This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was me jamming over a backing track that I included as part of the content in a video a few weeks back where I basically said, here's a backing track, have a jam over the top of it. I put the link to download it in the description. Have a jam over this backing track, send me your entries and we'll think up some sort of prize after a suitable period of time. And that contest is still ongoing, and I've had like maybe half a dozen entries or so as I speak. Today it's the 13th of October as I'm recording this video, so that's, you know, kind of, I want to keep it going until I've got like a sizable number of entries to choose from, and then, as I say, there'll be a prize worth winning almost. But yeah, I have had a few emails from people who've said that they're struggling to kind of navigate how to play over that particular backing track, so I thought I'd address that today in this video. So here's some information on, you know, how you need to be thinking as you're playing over that jam track.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, so let's take a look at the chord sequence that the solo is played over. Here it is. It actually consists of some slash chords in there just to create a nice little effect in the bass line, but in terms of the basic chords that are being used, these are what you're hearing, and mostly it's got an overall tonality of D major, so we can use D major pentatonic, the notes D, E, F sharp, A and B over the top of that. The one chord which just ain't gonna quite wear that particularly well is the B flat chord. You can look at that chord as being borrowed from the parallel key of D minor. The key of D minor has a B flat chord in it, and it's a commonplace little trick to just kind of nip over to the minor key and borrow a chord from there. Think of Peggy Sue by Buddy Holly, where it's in the key of A, but there's that kind of F chord in there which is borrowed from the key of A minor. It's a similar kind of thing. So what do we do over that B flat chord? Well, the simplest solution really is to think, well, okay, that chord can be seen as coming from the key of D minor. Let's use a D minor pentatonic over that particular chord. And that is exactly what I'm doing in this clip. But there's more we can do. What I also like to do, and what I did in that solo in subsequent times through the chord sequence, is I like to just divide the chord sequence up into what I think of as zones. kind of like this. You can see that the first two bars, the D and the A chord, well, we can think of those as being in the key of D major. So I'm going to use D major pentatonic there. And the next two chords, the C and the G, well, we can think of those as coming from the key of C major, so I'm going to use a C major pentatonic there. And then the next chord, the B flat, well, as I said earlier, you can think of that as coming from the key of D minor, but it's just a B flat chord, so why not use a B flat major pentatonic over it? And then the final three chords, the D, the E7 and the A, they are what we call diatonic to, or coming from the key of A major. So let's just use an A major pentatonic over those. And there's a way you can do that actually, which is quite accessible. If I just go to this next slide here like this, we can take that that basic pentatonic first position shape that I think everybody pretty much knows the best out of all of the pentatonic boxes, and just move it down the neck. At the 7th fret, it's a D major pentatonic, then move it down to the 5th fret, it's C major pentatonic, then move it down to the 3rd fret, it's a B flat major pentatonic, and then move it down another fret to the 2nd fret, and it's an A major pentatonic. And that is what I'm doing in the next cycle of the solo that I played in this clip here. And then, of course, what we can do is think, well, yeah, but do I really want to kind of be dodging up and down the fretboard for every chord change like that? Wouldn't it be more convenient if I could play all of those scale patterns or those scales in the same place without having to move the same pattern up and down? And indeed you can. This is how, in the final time through the solo, I did it. Position 1, or pattern 1 as I call it, at the 7th fret is going to give us the D major pentatonic. Then you can see I'm going to pattern 2 for the C major pentatonic. Pattern 3 gives me the B flat major pentatonic, and then over on the right hand side there you can see A major pentatonic is the same shape as I'm using for the B flat major, but just moved 1 fret down. So they're all of those scales are available within 1 fret of each other. And as I say, this is what I did on the final cycle of the chord sequence in the solo that you heard earlier, and this is how it sounded. Now, the eagle-eyed observers amongst you may have noticed that when I went to that A major pentatonic at the end there, I added a D note into it, which isn't in the scale. Why did I do that? Well, because another thing that I'm doing as I'm playing like this is I'm always on the lookout, sniffing around for chord tones to land on. It's just something that I do. You know, I don't remember the time when I decided I'm going to start doing this, but it's just something that I've obviously evolved into doing, and that's possibly another video in itself, although I've done videos on that kind of thing in the past many times. But, you know, as you're going through these different scales, you can just think, well, okay, yeah, but I can see a chord note there that I can land on if you've got the fretboard knowledge to do that. But as I say, that is a topic for another day. This basic mapping it out in pentatonics approach is how I think in terms of every solo, really, and then by the time you've added a chord note here or mixed two pentatonics, because like obviously sometimes the scales don't meet like that, sometimes they will just do that a little bit, and in that little bit of an overlap or where there's a chord tone, you've ended up playing some mode or other, which again I'm not going to bore you with that today, but that's how it all sort of evolves into the kind of solos that I play. I always think in terms of this basic block pentatonic approach, and it seems to serve me pretty well. Hopefully it will for you as well. So there you go. That's how to play over that chord sequence. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the solo at the top of the video in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it, that explanation you've just seen there, and of course the jam track to play along with yourself if you fancy having a go at the competition. You know, just send me one of your jams. All of the requisite goodies are up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, it's $3 a month, or roughly £3, and you get access to all of these tabs and jam tracks and goodies and stuff that go along with these YouTube videos. There's also a tier 2 membership where you get early access to videos and early access to the tabs and all the other stuff that goes along with it. That's just a new feature that I'm including in tier 2, and tier 2 membership is $6 a month. Still very reasonably priced, even though I say so myself. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you found this useful and informative, and perhaps even a little bit inspiring. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and we have a chat, basically. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, I think. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.